Scoundrels, Inc., another Star Wars podcast. I am Frank Jench alongside Brandon, the Hitman Hannah. Actually, I'm going to call him the Hot Man Hannah.
Ooh.
And we have Kevin.
I'm going to call him the Hornet.
Kevin.
Buzz buzz.
Kevin the Kevin the Smets. Kevin the Smets.
Crusher. Kevin the Crusher Smets.
There you go. There you go.
The alternate universe schmodown.
This week we are doing our definitive list. You know, the past couple of weeks we did crawl rankings, then we did the opening sequence setting or scenes, which a lot of fun to do those lists. But now we're combining them basically to give you our definitive ranking list of which film has basically the best beginning to the film. I think.
Are you sure about that? Okay.
Yeah, this is the definitive. Will be our definitive.
This
list,
is the definitive
list.
Oh, the beginning. Oh, the best beginning. Okay.
Like all encompassing. Crawl, opening sequences.
Are we talking the best beginning hour and a half of each movie? Best beginning 45 minutes of each movie, or 37 minutes of each movie? All right, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So if you were here last week, you understand what Kevin's getting at. But if you weren't and you'd like to come back week after week, hit subscribe on our YouTube channel, hit like on the video, and comment your rankings, your list. How do you rank these things? Crawls, opening scene sequences, and all that good stuff. Leave that down in the comments below. You can also find us on our social medias, the app formerly known as Twitter. We have Instagram, TikTok, Brandon's favorite platform,
Threads, baby.
You can also find us on our podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, if that's your type of thing. And then announcement, I finally have a date for my
You have a date? Finally, Frank. We were worried about you. It's been a while since you've been able to go out.
Yeah, it's been real rough. Anyways, my Revenge of the Sith / Siege of Mandalore cut. It's almost as long as Killers of the Flower Moon. It's going to be a virtual screening in our Discord channel, and if you want to join our Discord channel, the link is down in the description, and click that to join our Discord channel, because on November 12th, that's a Sunday, November 12th at 1 p.m. Pacific time, I will start to air and screen the cut of Revenge of the Sith, cut with Siege of Mandalore. It's going to be a lot of fun, so hop in our Discord channel today, and stay tuned for when that virtual screening goes live. I haven't announced that anywhere else but right here on the show first off, and then I'll throw it in the Discord channel, obviously. But before we get any further, I want to talk about the SAG strike still going on. Still fully support everyone out there on the picket lines. You know, it feels like we're almost close. I don't know anymore. It changes from day to day, but still holding strong, and definitely we stand with them 100%. But Kevin, you've been doing your Star Wars Super Watch, which, by the way,
how far are you? How are you doing on it?
I started.
Did you?
In theory, I started.
In theory.
But
Brandon, how about you? You're like at number. Actually, throw out a number one between 1 and 68. Just throw out a number, Brandon.
43.
You're currently reading the Lords of the Sith novel. That's
wow.
great.
Oh yes, I am quite the reader. You know.
Let's have a fun, quick game, Frank.
Okay.
What number do you think A New Hope is? In the Star Wars Super Watch, what number is A New Hope?
52.
Oh, so close.
Really?
Brandon?
54.
49.
Oh, I was going to say 49. I was trying to remember our conversation from a couple weeks ago when you broke it all down, first, and then I was like, it sounds like I was going to, anyways.
You were in the right ballpark.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going well. I know we were joking when Frank and I, when he was invited to edit the document, then we were acting like two schoolgirls who just discovered what shared documents are.
Yeah.
So I had made a joke. He was typing poopy pants on it, because I had said, oh, if I share it with you, someone's going to write poopy pants.
And
so he was writing poopy pants or whatever. But then he remembered I had written optional under one. But I'm changing optional on one of them to mandatory. And that is the CGI or the game cinematics of Bounty Hunter. Originally, it was a GameCube game, I think, and a PlayStation 2 game.
Yes.
Here's why, dude. I'm watching it. Zam Wessel's original voice actor, Liana Walsman, voices Sam Wessel in it. and she's a pretty big part. Like it's almost like a buddy cop movie, like with the two of them, unlikely allies for a significant portion of that game. And it's her voice, and it's not D. Bradley Baker, but it's actually Tamura Morrison. So it's like straight up the main actor. They got these main actors probably right at the height of the episode 2 production, where they were all excited and amped to do it. And so when you watch it, and someone like uploaded the cinematics, and I don't know why they say used AI to clean it up, because I don't see any AI at use. Maybe like they did it to clean up to the visuals or something, but it doesn't look like that to me. But it still looks like the CGI animatics from whenever that game was released. But it's with the full voice actors, and it's a cool little side story of how Zam and him met. And I know that half these things on my list aren't canon. I'm choosing to make things canon, and that's the best part about the Super Watch. So you can make whatever you want to be canon. Plagueis is not certainly canon anymore, but it's one of the best novels, written content out there. So if you want to really deep dive into it and see where Palpatine's coming from later, you can do that. So Star Wars Bounty Hunter. It was a cool game. I remember playing it, but I never watched the
best
whole thing.
games.
I still have it
for Star Wars.
It's downloaded on my
good.
PlayStation 4. So.
Oh wow,
that's what I'm talking about.
It's great, and I think the voice of Dooku is the voice that did Dooku in the Clone Wars cartoon, but I could be wrong on that. It's a very convincing Christopher Lee. It's not Christopher Lee, but they do have Tamora Morrison there and Leanna Wellsman, and they have Clancy Brown as the main villain voice, and Clancy Brown. Such a good and it ends with like the Dooku meeting with Jango Fett and how he came to be, and I have one condition.
One of the moons of
so it's cool. So that's where I'm at now. I did do the Star Wars Jedi Starfighter cinematics, because that takes place my whole thing was I wanted to have as much in between episode 1 and 2 as possible. Like, what was that galaxy like in the 9 years in between 1 and 2? Because there's not that much that explores. Everything happens during the Clone Wars and then in between 3 and 4, right? So that's why I'm including stuff. And Jedi Starfighter gets you to know Adi Gallia. I always wreck the name a little bit. You get some sassy Tin interplay with her, like on Starship. So it's pretty cool, and Mace Windu's in it. It's not what I would call essential, but again, it just fleshes out like the Jedi that I'm going to later see in Attack of the Clones. So the Super Watch is going well, and I found a de-aged Obi-Wan and Anakin training scene cut together from the flashback of Obi-Wan show. So that's where I'm at now. I think the next one after that would be Attack of the Clones. So
you're on Obi-Wan right now?
No, not Obi-Wan. Remember, that training sequence is a flashback in Obi-Wan.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
Put it all together, and apparently it happens right before Attack of the Clones. So you watch that first. It's like 2.5 minutes, de-aged, and they did a good job de-aging it, where you could tell like some of the deep fake is like from shots from Attack of the Clones. So it fits right in. It doesn't look like middle-aged Anakin fighting de-aged Obi-Wan. And then Attack of the Clones. So I'll be at number 16. So Frank, you got plenty of time to catch up. But yeah, if you guys still want to do the Super Watch, we'll post it in you can go to the Super Watch video that I'm sure Frank can tell you about.
Yeah.
It's in the comments there below. So.
All right. Now that we have settled that, we know where Kevin is at in his journey. Let's talk about these rankings. And now Kevin listened to the show last week, Brandon, and he took some exception to where we draw the line at opening sequences and whatnots, and whether it's at the first wipe or it's here, there, or elsewhere. Kevin, I think you were pretty receptive, weren't you? Or were you not?
Last week was not canon. Last week's episode of Scoundrels Inc. was not canon. I don't know what number we're on. We haven't been really counting them as numbers, but if it was number 102 or 104, it is this episode is 104.
Okay.
And last week's episode is scratched. It's 104 with the italics font on it and the scratch out font.
And wow.
Brandon Hanna felt my wrath when I was kind of drunk at the wedding last night anyway.
He went off on
Frank
you?
felt my wrath when we went to the football game. So they both kind of felt my wrath. But I do want to share with everyone that I was fine with making decisions. I mean, I was kind of joking along, and I was texting him as I was listening to it, saying, like, come on, guys. But then I just drew the line.
when you guys were making. You guys, okay, I get it. You want to change what the opening scene is. I know what a scene is. I went to film school. I think we could all know.
Oh,
Or-
you went to film school.
Yeah, film school didn't do a
Wow.
darn thing for me. Let's be honest. My diploma, I could use as toilet paper. But I will say this: it got me to know all the people that I love and dearly today. But I will say that going through your list, my part that I just lost my damn mind on was when you made fun of me when you're like, wow, man, it's so funny how Kevin has the Return of the Jedi opening scene at the bottom. Like, wow, he must not like Jabba the Hutt or the entire sequence of Tatooine. No, I actually did the homework assignment correctly. And it's the opening scene. If you want to get muddled and be like, it's up until the first wipe, that's fine. Sometimes you can say, oh, it's when the mood or the scene dramatically shifts to another thing. So let's go through real quick. It took them 45 minutes last week to go through each opening scene. Let's go through each opening scene on our own. The Phantom Menace, the opening sequence, goes up until you write the negotiations were short. That's basically the overall gist of the opening with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, and they get off the ship. That's the wipe. Let's go with that. Attack of the Clones, Cord dies. Cord dies. She did her duty.
Cord? You call her Cord? It's Corday.
Extension Corday. You know what her first name is? Extension Corday. All right. Then you have Revenge of the Sith, which, it's just basically the space battle. Once they jump off the ship, and then they say R2, and R2 goes to hide, and he says, "What's next? Spring the trap." That's it. That's the opening of Revenge of the Sith. A New Hope. It's with there are no life forms on board. We're done with that opening sequence, right? That's a sequence. That's an opening sequence. Empire Strikes Back. It's with the Wampa knocking out Luke, because then it slows down. You're no longer outside in snow. You're on the inside. Then you have Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi's opening scene sucks.
37 minutes.
No. Oh my God, my camera's even mad at you.
Oh my gosh.
The reason
Maybe it's mad at you, guy, because I look good.
No one really watches this anyway. So now Christian somewhere Christian Harloff is laughing.
Yeah.
The opening of Return of the Jedi is at the end, and it's fine opening, but it's when you compare to all the other ones, the opening of Return of the Jedi is with Jarahad. I don't know how to say anyone's name today, but I'm just mad. Okay, I agree. And I tend to forget how to say names, just like Palpatine,
Jar
Jarad, and Vader. That's it. We shall double our efforts, and I hope so. For the Emperor's not forgiving as I am. When that pulls out, that's the opening scene. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know that I am like with Phantom Menace, you could technically say it's with when the ships explode, whatever you want to do, it's fine. But I'm just saying you can't do the first 37 minutes, and even if you could, you can't make fun of me for having mine so low and acting like that I think the Jabba the Hutt's not high. If we're going to talk about the first 37 minutes,
I can do whatever I want, Kevin.
Okay, you know what? Next week it's going to be the top 37 minutes. We're just going to milk this baby as long as we can.
The first 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Yeah.
So, by and large, though, I agree with their opening scene rankings, but I just have to say that they did the homework wrong. So,
but we got the right answers anyway. So
you got the right answer anyway. It was like using
don't like our work, but like the answers. Okay, that's great.
Frank did the homework wrong.
Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Brandon, I did not do the homework wrong.
Frank did the homework
literally
wrong. I didn't do the homework at all.
Well, there you go. That's fair. Because
here's my
of all the spots that you brought up,
or we could extend it to
all the spots that you brought up, Kevin. I had them right there, and then I was like, "Hey, Brandon, what do you want to do?"
Let's throw it all out.
And I was just like, "Hey, we could do this, we could do that." But if
what
you were here,
were your score of the sequel trilogy? Let's see if you got that right at least.
The what?
The sequel trilogy, then you'd have the Jakku would be when the X-wing explodes, and then it's just sad BB-8 right.
We had that one, but we extended
the
it.
Last Jedi, but you extended it.
We extended it.
Of course, you extended it. Then the Last Jedi. Where did you have that? Where's the official?
Tied on the end of a string, and that's where we left it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How many
and then Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker is at the end of Mustafar, and that's it.
We said, who is she, after when he's talking to Palpatine, which is only 6 minutes,
still
and 37 seconds
it.
into the movie.
He goes right from Mustafar.
Okay, you could at the end, at the very end of the Palpatine. Okay, I can go with that.
Yeah.
But
So really,
anyway, it was fun.
really the only thing that just grinds your gears is the Return of the Jedi one, which, look, 37 minutes is really absurd.
And then someone in the comments, and bless your soul, I agree with you that it's great Jabba the Hutt stuff. And I had to write under it snarky, yeah, but it's not the opening scene. I don't know why, but it's because I should have been there and I was screaming at the screen. But now I'm here.
Yeah, now you're here. And
we're gonna up since 5 in the morning.
Yeah,
driving away from this wedding, back here, and I'm so tired, and I had to work late. They know they were waiting for me, but I was like, I will not. I could lose my voice. I would have used that robot thing that freaking Eddie Redmayne used. Not him. Well, he played
Stephen Hawking.
All right, fine. I'm bad with names today.
I mean, I think Eddie Redmayne did use it. I don't know. Anyways, so here are the rankings, just so everyone out there is aware. Our crawl rankings go as such: A New Hope, Revenge of the Sith, The Empire Strikes Back, The Force Awakens, Return of the Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, Attack of the Clones, The Last Jedi, and The Phantom Menace. That's for the crawl, the opening crawl. The opening sequences / scene: Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, The Phantom Menace, Return of the Jedi, The Empire Strikes Back, The Last Jedi, The Force Awakens, The Rise of Skywalker, and last but not least, Attack of the Clones. So now what we're going to do is not necessarily use both of these lists to combine to make one definitive list. We could, but I mean, we've kind of done the homework for it, so we know, I think, a little bit where things are going to fall in line, perhaps not. But we're going to make a definitive list of the best beginning of each film, take into account how we rank the crawl and how we rank the opening scene. And so where we're kind of at, do we want to go from the bottom up or the top down?
I don't know, man.
Kevin, relax.
Just one of those days.
Yeah.
Up to you guys. Frank, however you like it normally, we could do it that way.
Jeez. Okay. Well, here's what I'll say. When we start at number 9, I'll put it that way. Let's start at number 9.
Nice way out of it. Nice way
because I think I know what we're gonna battle for between the 1, 2, and probably maybe 3.
I feel like the easier way might be doing it just how we've been doing it, though, is just.
Oh, okay.
Let's do it in release order, and then just put one on. Or no, let's do it in chronological order this time. We've been doing it in release order.
True.
So we start with Phantom Menace.
Okay.
And then right now, Phantom Menace is in first place, and then we just keep knocking it off, or you know what I mean. You like to do it that way, or
no. That's good. I like. Yeah, let's do it chronological. That'd be great.
Okay.
So the Phantom Menace is at number 1. Probably the only time it will be number 1 on this list.
Best movie
number
ever.
Number 2.
Here's the hardest thing about the Phantom Menace, though.
Mm-hmm.
Is it is on the bottom of our crawl rankings, but it's up there on our opening scene rankings.
That's
so
that's very.
Where is that going to make this end up in this gauntlet? Did we decide on what we were going to call these things? Like,
I guess it should be a gauntlet. Yeah, I think we did come
up
with a gauntlet.
Whoever's in first until you get knocked off.
We got to rank the endings too, because the ending of Phantom Menace is one of the best. Like, come on.
Oh yeah,
we can do that next week. We do that next week. What do you want to do?
We got the best endings, the best opening line.
Oh yeah, baby! Prepare for all these gauntlets. The gauntlets are the era of gauntlets on Scoundrels Inc. is upon us.
Scoundrels Inc. Gauntlet Arena. No, Scoundrels Inc. No, I got nothing.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Okay, so Phantom Menace is sitting at number 1. Attack of the Clones.
We want to talk about why?
Of what?
About Phantom Menace, why it's in first place right now?
Well, I think we can get to the why when we have to actually battle something to put it above it. You got me?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
Okay, so Attack of the Clones.
Good movie.
Cord dies, apparently.
Extension cord dies.
Cord short circuits.
Yeah.
And then, so I mean, like, look, that's just going to be below Attack of the Clones. Or, I'm sorry, below the Phantom Menace. Or Brandon, you have a different opinion.
Well,
yeah. I mean, I can't.
Do you
even,
like?
I can't
combined?
even remember the crawl. So, to be honest, for Attack of the
Clones, I have it in the notes.
When you're talking about numbers too, when you're looking at sports things, Attack of the Clones is a 7 crawl and a 9 in opening scene.
Yeah.
So
the number 1 in our hearts.
There's Phantom Menace at 3 for opening scene, but 9 at crawl. I think 3 plus 9 divided by 2 is. I mean, I guess you could do the number, you could do the math, but that wouldn't make this show very fun. So let's not do that.
Yeah, no.
Everybody, best out your calculators.
So 6.
I think
but
Phantom
not really,
Menace has to go above. Huh?
Anyways, the math would say 6, but
6 for what?
Phantom Menace.
6 for Phantom Menace, and then it would say it would be like 9 for Attack of the Clones. 7
Attack of
plus
the Clones
9
would be
divided
8.
by 2.
Attack of the Clones would be 8.
Yeah, I think we cracked the code. I think we're done with the episode.
All
Let's
right.
just fire out. We're good.
We've discovered
I
how to
think
take
Phantom-
averages. Amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's not how this is going to go.
I think Phantom Menace have to definitely be above.
But then, okay, so Revenge of the Sith, that's going to go to the very top, right?
Tippity top. As Luke Skywalker once said, this
Yeah,
is not going to go the way
let's
that you
talk-
think.
That's
Revenge
right.
of the Sith. Well, now because you have the great opening crawl with
The crawl.
war. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
And clones.
You have war, heroes on both sides. Then you have the action-packed space thing. Are we going with your rules or the rules of filmmaking in general for the last 200 years about the opening scene?
gosh.
All right, that was my last.
Either way you slice it, I think it's going to surpass these other 2 movies. I think the beginnings of each of these movies, I think, it's weird about like Attack of the Clones because it's a very just like ho hum beginning. It's a very like even when you extend it to like as it goes on into the meeting in Chancellor's, you know.
I would personally extend it to this party's over.
Well, can we do that fun game real quick since this might be a quick episode? Let's extend every opening and see opening up the video files where 37-minute marker is for these other movies, and you'll realize how in error you are about the opening minutes.
But I mean, like, part of the other thing we said last week was that 37 minutes doesn't even really do anything for the rest of the movie. It doesn't, like, it just sets up getting back Han Solo and kind of where Luke is at with his training. But it's not even, those events are not even connected remotely to what happens at the, the culmination of the trilogy, which is, I think,
it's like,
kind of funny and interesting, but it's a great.
It's like it's like Palpatine's like, Vader, have you hunted down this Skywalker? No, my lord, he's on a side quest to get back Han Solo, and we must wait until he is done.
Right. Like
back then, it was like the greatest thing ever, right? As kids.
Well, when you think about it, if Darth Vader knows that Boba Fett is gonna bring Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt, and Han Solo is friend to Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia.
You think he put a
Why wouldn't he just? They would just
deploy the
stake out on Tatooine and wait for him to show up. Like,
it's very true.
Like, wait a minute, I know where he's taking him. It's basically a trap for Luke. Like, that should have been a trap.
If Rian Johnson edited or directed Return of the Jedi,
the Imperial resources were spread thin. They weren't as strong as they wanted the galaxy to believe. Okay, they didn't have the people to spare, right?
Why did you sound like Dennis Miller right there? It sounds like it sounds like the last time I was having coffee with Senator.
That's actually pretty good. That's pretty good, Kevin. But unfortunately, not too many people know who the hell Dennis Miller is these days.
I know. I'm kind of old.
Yeah.
Hey, that's why they needed a Death Star, because they knew they couldn't control the galaxy with stormtroopers alone.
I'm just saying, Darth Vader could have camped out on Tatooine. I know he hates sand,
He hates
whatever,
it, dude.
but he hates it. He hated it so much. He just go to any sand planet, and he won't even bother going over there.
He's really like,
hide out, man. There's a beach over there. Watch. I bet you'd be fine on Scarif too.
Hey, well, he did show, but he had to stay in orbit. He couldn't even go down to the surface.
I heard
he didn't even. Yeah, he had blasted open space door even.
Vader used to vacation on Niamos, actually.
Oh yeah.
I totally have a line in the KOTOR Convergence movie where our heroes are running down and they're in the middle of peril. This is a sneak peek for anybody who's listening. I don't know.
Sneak peek.
Sneak peek. All right. I knew I'd get away with it. But they're running down the corridor. I always loved throwing fucking planet names just for fun of it. So one of them is bitching, but Basta and Logan or whatever, married or whatever. And they're like, "Oh, we could have. This is quite the honeymoon you had for me, honey." Like as they're running down a corridor fighting people, and Logan says, "Oh, I know. I much rather would have. I'd rather have preferred to be on Niamos at this point." So I gave a little Rogue One shout.
Nice. That's makes the whole world seem connected. Oh my gosh!
Guy. And then I have Snoke pop up or Kino Loy. Oh wait, that's the wrong planet. I mean, forgive me.
Oh,
it's been a long day, dude. So we got number 1, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Number 2 now is at Phantom Menace, and number 3 is Attack of the Clones.
So now, this is where we get into the nitty gritty. I think A New Hope, Revenge of the Sith. This is Ali Frazier. This is WrestleMania, whatever. This is, all those comparisons and matchups.
It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. Well, it's A New Hope, and it's not even close.
Well, see, here's the thing. I think it is close. I think it's very close, Kevin. Brandon,
what was the first one ever? What was the first one ever on your screen?
I don't care who's first, who's second, who's standing on third.
The first one, there'd be none of us.
Hey, the first one I ever saw was Empire Strikes Back. Okay. And then I was like,
so there you go.
And I was like, there's one before this? What?
Nice.
And then when you watched it, where you're like, the opening of Empire was still better? Is that what you said?
I was like, I'll put Empire back on.
Rebel spaceships striking from a hidden base have won their first victory against the evil Galactic Empire. Come on, man.
Well, see,
it's poetry.
Empire Strikes Back, we ranked that crawl number 3. And last week we ranked it number 5.
We're not talking about Empire. I don't want to talk. I don't want to hear about Obi-Wan. I don't want to talk about Empire yet.
All right, so no doubt that we're going to be flipping and flopping between A New Hope and Revenge of the Sith at the number 1 spot.
So should we do what we did last time? Let's save this argument for the end.
Okay.
Let's do Revenge of the Sith / A New Hope for now, and we will curb this. We will table this for a second.
Oh gosh, sorry guys, I keep
all right.
You're just boring.
Am I boring you, Brandon? Am I boring you? I know you were out later than me last night. Well, yeah, fun times. Congratulations to the newlyweds.
Yes.
Empire Strikes Back. We ranked the crawl a number 3, and last week we ranked the opening sequence number 5 behind the 37-minute intro to Return of the Jedi. So
here's how we make it easy.
Yeah.
Is it better than Revenge of the Sith or A New Hope? No.
This is true.
So it's under that. We're talking about the opening, not just the crawl now. We're talking about the opening with the little things coming in the landing. Is it better than the Phantom Menace? The crawl is, but the opening sequence.
Where do you want to put more weight on this? Because I don't think the crawl, well, we did rank it last, which, like, logically speaking, should really prevent it from being higher than the Empire. But there's a part of me that kind of likes the opening of Phantom Menace a little bit more than Empire, just because there's a lot more going on.
It's a better color font, too. I've always liked the more orange.
This is true. We talked about that,
yeah. It was just the taxation of trade routes. We really penalized it in that crawl rankings just because it went from, like, cool, like, the vile gangster job. Like, the last crawl had been released had sentences like, the vile, from the evil clutches, or from the clutches of the vile gangster Jabba the Hutt, to, like, the taxation of trade routes is in dispute. Like, but... So I think we overly penalized it, which for good reason, like, because it started a trend, as you see, with most of those aside from So I would say overall though, I think the crawl. I mean, you guys have no concept of what runtime is because obviously 37 minutes, but I think the crawl, if you think about it, if the opening is 4 or 5 minutes and the crawl is a minute, that's got to be how you're viewing our weighting. It's got to be the opening sequence, and the visual we're seeing has to have that much more weight over the crawl. So Brandon, you're a mathematician, you could probably come up with a formula with this, with the numbers, but I don't have to say that. But what I would say is I think the crawl rankings have the least influence on it. I think our opening scene rankings, I think our final list would fall more in line with the opening scene rankings.
Sure. I will just
say, that's the case,
I would just say real
then,
quick,
yeah.
the last sentence or the couple last sentences of the Phantom Menace crawl, pretty great, but
Two Jedi Knight dispatched. Yeah, anytime you use the word dispatched.
I'm still hung up on the fact that you said Phantom Menace is a different color than the other ones.
the
It
font,
is. So
yeah.
the font, it's like an oranger, a little orangey. And I only know that because I wanted to mimic that for my KOTOR movies. Because like A New Hope and all of them, it's a little more yellow. It's like you could find websites, by the way, that really like break it down to like the actual numeric numbers of the font color.
Really?
Yeah, the font colors. So that being said, because I don't want to, I'm trying to avoid looking at the prior rankings because I'm just right now all we should be looking at is the list you have in front of you right now, Frank, which is Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, Phantom Menace, and Attack of the Clones.
Oh my God.
It's definitely better than Attack of the Clones. I would say the Empire opening though is lower than the Phantom Menace. So I would put right now if we had 3 spots because Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope are in the 1 spot.
How orange that is! Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Nice and orange.
I
right?
had no
Now
idea.
His
go
life
to
has
Empire.
changed. Yeah, it's more
I
muted.
think
muted.
it should be currently at number 3rd place or number 3.
Yeah, Brandon, what do you think? What do you think about Revenge? I'm sorry. Empire Strikes Back and Phantom Menace. If you had to go one or the other, in terms of just the beginning, obviously not the movie.
I'd put Phantom above Empire.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's where I'm landing as well. Didn't
I
think
agree.
I'd ever do that, but in any kind of list between Phantom and Empire, but here we are. So it's going to sit at number 2.
Sub that out, someone. Let's sub it out and make Brandon look like he likes Phantom Menace more than Empire Strikes Back. Shame him for his fandom. Shame him.
You see, it's like poetry. It rhymes. Like, you know, Yoda's goofy and then Jar Jar's goofy. You know, they're both goofy. It's a rhyme.
Wow.
They're the
What
same
a
movie.
goof.
They're the same movie. That was a bad impression. I'm tired.
It's okay. Return.
It's okay, pal.
Return.
We had some drinks last night.
You did. I saw all the pictures all over the social media. It was on TMZ. It was on
Yeah.
People Magazine. It was crazy.
Yeah, I didn't post any pictures, man. I did have good news though.
Yeah, you did. You're scared. Yeah.
Yeah, my scans came back. I went on an MRI. I was up in LA. I had to do an MRI. I saw Frank for a football game on Sunday night where the Bears won. The Bears lost badly,
Oh, my goodness.
very badly.
Just shameful.
We had a good time. Funny story. I'm eating. I was like, you know what? I really want to have the burger at Denny's at like
Oh my
2 in the
gosh.
morning. Or what? I don't even know.
Oh, no, it
what
wasn't 2 in the morning. It was like 10:30.
Well, come on, make my story
11
sound
o'clock.
cool.
It was 11
Yeah.
o'clock.
It was like 11:15. But I have this cheeseburger because I've been trying to find this perfect cheeseburger. Shout out to Brienne.
Yeah, he thought he was going to find it at Denny's, Brandon. Are you kidding?
Wait, I'm so confused.
That's the whole point. With Brienne, Chandler, and myself, my wife, and my daughter, we went to this hotel pool bar once near her place, and they had a cheeseburger, and it was like it just brought me back to the cheeseburgers I had at like high school or grade school, like even like kindergarten. Like it was this perfect cheeseburger, and I ordered a second one because it was so good, and I ate it. It was so good. And I've been trying to find the perfect burger, and it can't be big and thick. I don't like those gourmet things. It's got to be flat and actually not fast food, but a touch below, like the gourmet style. So we go to Denny's, and I eat the burger. And then the next day, as we're driving up to the MRI, it's like all the prep you have to do. And it's like, oh, you can't have gassy foods in the last 24 hours, all liquid diet. And I'm like, oh, my God, I just blew it. I was at a football game drinking beer, having a burger, which was good, by the way. I was solid.
It was decent, yeah.
Oh my gosh, you really.
Their wings were horrible, right? Their wing or
Their wings were like you get those out of the freezer aisle at the grocery store. Yeah,
it was atrocious. But yeah, it was good times catching up with pal Frank. Anyways, it's clean. I ended up getting to do the MRI anyway. They checked it and they saw that it was fine. It was okay. I didn't need to do all that stuff anyway. And then since I got that tweet about my scans, I got a message from my surgeon basically saying she could say with great confidence that the newest MRI results are benign. Now, my surgeon is always like never 100% with the good news. Always like, well, there's still a chance.
Mm-hmm.
This time was like straight up like, no, it looks benign. Congratulations. I won't have to see you for another 6 months.
Nice.
She's probably glad because I was bothering her so much. But anyways, sorry, I don't know how we got sidetracked to that, but yeah, clean scan. So yeah, I had good news.
Weird.
There we go.
Yeah.
Looking for
Awesome
the
here.
perfect cheeseburger at Denny's.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brian Chandler. It's only at that pool bar so far.
Go back to the
That's
pool bar, man.
Ridiculous. That's crazy. Speaking of bar, the sail barge in Return of the Jedi. 30.
It's not part of the opening scene of that movie.
So look, we have Return of the Jedi at number 5 on the crawl rankings, and we have it at number 4 in the opening scene rankings. So it's like very middle of the road in terms of the other films. Will it? Are we going to keep it at 4, 3, or 4? I mean, well, it's kind of like it would be at
4 right now if we move it above Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Look, we got to stay with your. I can't discount your opening scene rankings. It's not fair. You guys did a great job on that show. So we got to go with it. We'll still roll with the 37 minutes because if it was the opening scene, it would be far below, and that would be an argument for another day. Well, we already had that argument. So let's go in with your thing. I think it's above Attack of the Clones. I think it's below. Well, now when you're talking about the sail barge and Jedi, it's the Jabba stuff. But then that's just not a. Well, it's hard. You put Return of the Jedi above Empire for crawl and opening, but that's the Empire Strikes Back opening scene that shows Hoth for the first time, the snowy planet, Luke and stuff, and Empire and Return of the Jedi. I know your version is accounting for the Jabba scene, but when people see this list 1,000 years from now, when it's etched on the walls of the city hall underground for after the zombie apocalypse, they're going to be like, these scoundrels really thought that Return of the Jedi had a better opening than Empire. That's what I'm worried about.
You're worried about 1,000 years. The people.
I think that Empire should go 3 and Jedi 4 because I did the homework correctly. But if you're including Jabba and all that sail barge shit, then it should go above Empire Strikes Back. But then we are not doing our job correctly. So,
well,
what do you guys think? I'll eat popcorn now. Cue the popcorn, Michael Jackson meme.
Okay. Yeah, this does. I didn't think about this last week because now this does raise a kind of an interesting conundrum of sorts. Because is it more fun than the Phantom? Well, I can't put I can't put Return of the Jedi over Phantom. I can't do it. Could I put it over Empire Strikes Back? Shoot. Because I still like Return of the Jedi Crawl a good deal, but
yeah,
the Empire's Crawl is a little more fun for me. But
isn't the Empire Crawl have the obsessed with finding young Skywalker?
Yeah.
And that, think about that when you're in 1980.
Yeah.
Why is he obsessed? Yeah, sure, he got the better of him, but oh my God, now he's on the radar of Vader. How cool of a sentence is that? It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I think even though we said the crawl rankings won't play too much, it's kind of come into effect here. So I think for that reason, I would keep Return of the Jedi below Empire, but above Attack of the Clones. So pretty much what you're saying.
The only way that makes right the wrong. Anna, what do you think, dude? Chime in here, bro. With a voice. Do it in a voice.
Misa thinking you no like a Return of the Jedi? Misa like this.
Oh, wow.
No, I don't know.
Boston ass, not a fan of Return of the Jedi. Who knew?
No, definitely not. Not enough Gungans. Although it has more Gungans than most Star Wars movies. Because they do.
Especially, you're right.
The special edition, they cut to
That's
Naboo.
Right. Yeah.
We are free!
By the way, is Boss Nass what happens if Jar Jar gets old and fat? Is that the way that they progress when they get older? Because Boss Nass does not look anything like the other people.
That's why he's number one. Because he stands out from all the rest.
He's a number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, that guy's in charge because he looks different."
He looks different. He's not even their species, probably.
He dominated over them, and now makes them think that they're all clones.
Doesn't he tie his ears back like it's hair, like he's putting it in a ponytail or something weird?
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Really?
Look at a picture of Boss Nass really quick.
No. Give us your thoughts on where you think Return of the Jedi.
I think I'm inclined to go with Kevin saying we should put Empire above Jedi, but I wouldn't put either above Phantom Menace. Because because for me, even though the crawl is like the opening scene, like carries it a lot, I think, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. So we have,
but yeah, the comment about the line of Vader like trying to find Luke Skywalker is like a really good hook too.
So we got between Phantom, Empire, and Return of the Jedi, Brandon, how would you? What would you do with those three? How would you do?
I would think in that order: Phantom, Empire, Jedi.
Okay. So then we're all on the same page there. We're all on the same page.
Yeah. Did you guys know what Boss Nass's first name was? Because I know now.
Big Boss Nass?
Rugger. R-U-G-O-R.
Wow.
I'm Rugger Nass, bro.
that is very trucker.
Very. It's funny. If you go to this shot here, I'll just take a picture of it and then show you.
I'm not crazy. His ears are definitely tied back behind his head. Come on.
It's not crazy. He's just wearing a hat. But look at all of the main dudes happen to look nothing like. Look, who's this guy? At least he has a long kind of.
Oh yeah,
snout.
those other ones, those guards.
Yeah.
I think they're kind of like guards. Yeah.
Those are the Imperial jars.
The Imperial jars. Get out.
This is a mask that you can buy, I guess.
Oh my goodness.
That's terrible.
Oh, we gotta buy that mask for the live show. Speaking of which,
yeah,
make sure to get your tickets.
Oh my god, I will definitely buy this mask for the live show.
LA Comic-Con, we're gonna be there Sunday, December 3rd.
Yes.
So that is
1:30 p.m. Los Angeles
1:30 p.m.
Be there.
Or it's obviously the prime time slot at the LA Comic.
That's right. Not a lot of people were fighting for that time slot. We got it. We got it.
We got it.
Yeah.
You hear Marvel was trying to get it.
Right, Marvel.
Kang Dynasty, they lost out.
Yeah.
That's right. So we're that good. Okay. So we've gone through the prequels, the original trilogy. Now we're on to the sequel movies and where they're gonna land. So as it currently stands, we have A New Hope / Revenge of the Sith. Then we have Phantom Menace, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and Attack of the Clones.
I'm not crazy. Look at this toy. His ears.
Oh yeah.
Tied like a ponytail.
It's like a Taco Bell toy or something.
In like the back of his head.
Yeah.
How's he hearing anything, dude?
He has bionics and stuff.
Dude, every time he farts, it's got to be loud.
Oh my god. Okay. The Force Awakens.
Wow.
The crawl ranking, we had this one kind of high at number 4. And then for our opening scene, more Boss Nass with his hair tied or ears tied, whatever it is.
His severed head.
Wild. We got to talk to Doug Chang. We got to talk to whoever designed this. Yeah.
Dude, look at this. Learning shit on Scoundrels Inc.
Look at that. If you never realized it, his ears are tied back. Like
someone just
ponytail.
Wow. This highly amuses Brandon.
I think we scooped Alex Damon on this one.
Right, yeah. You're not going to find that on Star Wars Explained, I'll tell you that
No
much.
way. Boss Nass Explained, maybe.
Midnight Nass with Brian Ward. That's his thing. He does a Photoshop thing. Okay, Force Awakens. The crawl was at number 4, and our opening scene we had it at number 7. So that's around like the 5.5 mark, somewhere in there. The opening crawl, a lot of good words in there. I think from like a word standpoint, like awesome words. Some of the best words we've ever seen. Just killer words. Good awesome words. Great words. The opening scene, I think it's one of the more action-oriented opening sequences, if you will. Not super heavy over the top action like Phantom Menace or even, obviously Revenge of the Sith. But, I mean, you got the Kylo Ren and them, slaughtering the town and Poe Dameron. And there's some cool stuff, I think Brandon talked about, stopping the laser bolt in midair. Some cool imagery, right? There's some cool imagery within the landing craft as well, the lights flickering and all of that. man, but I'm not like, I don't know if more over time, it just,
Wow.
What,
I wasn't here last week. Remember, we didn't talk about this together.
No. What are your thoughts?
I mean,
what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, this show, we were at recording 44 minutes. We just extended this show, dude.
Oh man,
You love it?
Yes.
Really?
Are you kidding me?
Because we have it at 7 on last week. We put it at 7 last week.
Yeah, I'm trying to remind myself, and I can't find it right now. When I couldn't make last week, I sent you my bottom 3, and I definitely know it wasn't in my bottom 3, but now I can't find my bottom 3 to you guys.
You put, let's see.
You have to scroll up. It's a lot of me bitching. Oh, here we go. My top 3 entity. Yeah. So yeah, I still have it still, but yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's definitely, yeah. So for me on my list, like it's above, like for the opening, it's above everything but the Phantom Menace. It's 4 for me. This is look, you haven't seen a Star Wars movie, a new one, since we thought it was going away forever. With, at the time, everybody thought a letdown of the prequel trilogy. Then you had the Clone Wars movie in the theaters, but that was it. The only time you could see Star Wars on the big screen was my KOTOR movies at MagFest 2014 and 2015.
Don't forget the Phantom Menace 3D.
Yeah, and Phantom Menace 3D, absolutely. And the only negative part about Disney buying it is that they immediately put a stop to releasing. It was right before Attack of the Clones was going to get released. They were going to do it every summer for 6 years or whatever. So, no, dude, the crawl was simple. We talked about how it was high on me for the crawl. We have it at number 4, the crawl, because it just got simple and straight to the point. Actually, that Eric Von Doimy, Frank, you sat with him. He was on our row.
Yeah.
He wasn't dressed in a Bears attire. The blonde guy. He's the one who was sitting next to me at the original, when I tell that story about The Force Awakens, how it was like Luke Skywalker has vanished. It was all simple. Remember, as the crawl went up, he's like, okay, yeah, I got it. That's all we need. We don't need taxation. We don't need crazy galaxy-wide things. We just need Luke's missing, Leia's looking to find her. Here's where we go in the story. But then you have the opening. You introduce a brand new lovable droid in BB-8. You have, the stopping the blaster mid-bolt. You have the blood on the hand of the stormtrooper helmet, which is just powerful stuff. And you have I just remember the excitement of opening night when it was the wide shot and you see the shot of the 4 drop ships. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. You can literally see it right now.
Oh my gosh.
The 4 drop ships coming out, and then the BB-8 goes in the front, and you see it from far away, and you hear that. Oh, now I'm out of focus, but and then he goes to race him, right? And then you have Poe Dameron like firing off people, and then the X-wing explodes. That opening is action packed. You have the theme of Kylo Ren, and then the stare down and who talks first, we talk first. We joke about that line all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
This is top 4, top 5. It's lucky it doesn't go above the Phantom Menace. I can't see it going above the Phantom Menace because of just the what that meant to the world. We've talked about the Phantom Menace. One of my favorite podcasts we did was a retrospective of that and how important that was. Well, the Phantom Menace, after so many years had seen the prequels, oh my God, we're going to see Anakin as a kid or Darth Vader as a kid. It's the same thing happens with The Force Awakens, of the meaning and the power of that. We thought it was done forever, just like we thought it was done forever back in the day, and then it came back. So, and then they nailed the landing with that. That opening was so cool. Everybody was excited. You had villagers fighting back and stormtroopers, and like I said, you got to see a saber, a cross sword saber for the first time. Like, so I think he had all 3 out, right, the whole time.
Yeah,
he always had it.
Yeah.
So it is number 4 for me. It's lucky it doesn't go over the Phantom Menace, and that could be an argument still.
Ooh.
But I think the Phantom Menace, because my argument about A New Hope goes with the Phantom Menace, which goes to. I certainly believe that it needs to be up there at least above Empire, Return, Attack of the Clones, and everything else.
You do make a good case. I just, and it's interesting too because I really like the crawl in Empire, and The Force Awakens was a great crawl. And last week, I'm actually now looking back at this list. I'm like, man, we actually have Force Awakens below Last Jedi. But I like Last Jedi's opening because of that space battle and all of that.
I wasn't
stuff
there for that.
I know.
It's a good opening. It's either
Yeah, it's
Those
tough.
two.
So it's like I there's no way I could ever put it above Phantom Menace. Could I put it above Empire? Man, I never thought. I'm really conflicted on this one. Brandon, what do you think?
I think Kevin sold me a lot on it. Yeah, I think I could definitely put it above Empire. I think. Yeah, definitely.
Besides, Empire's crawl is so yellow, you
Yeah,
guys.
it's not orange enough.
I will say something that is a strike against all 3 sequel trilogies, and you can find articles on this too. The opening is different than all the others.
No.
There's less brass. He did a different approach to it.
Yeah.
You can read it online. There are great blogs, and there's a great podcast. I wish I could remember the name of it, where they go into depth about themes from Star Wars and like how Kylo Ren's theme is an inverse of Rey's theme, and he plays it on a piano and explains how. Really fascinating stuff, and how that both themes interweave with the Force theme perfectly, showing how John Williams is a genius. But he talks about how if you notice, it's just it sounds like there's a couple instruments missing from the the best ever is literally the Revenge of the Sith one and the Jedi one. That's when it was like, because like a New Hope, I know people are like, I'm losing them. I know, I get it, but like a New Hope, like is very brassy, but it's not that bassy. But like when you got to the prequels, man, Phantom, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith was like this thick, heavy, but the sequels, it's just there's a couple instruments. Listen to them back to back to back. I'm sure someone on YouTube has it. It's quite different. So that knocks it down a little for me. But I've been talking so much about it, so I will back to you in the studio.
Back to you, Frank.
I realize I'm trying to find a reason why not to put it over Empire Strikes Back, as if it's already over Empire Strikes Back. So, and I think you did a really good job of laying it out there, Kevin. I'm not gonna lie. So I think because Brandon's already agreed, you've already stated your position, Kevin. I think I'm going to align here and say The Force Awakens over Empire, Return, and Attack.
I think I would have had the same arguments at the opening scene, because like even if you're talking over, I think of course with the Jabba stuff that gets all muddy, but it's funny. Like I think I was so mad. I was seeing such red about the Return of the Jedi stuff that I didn't even realize The Force Awakens was so low.
Yeah.
But also that's subjective. Like I get it. I would get what your reasons would be for this ranking for that. But for me, I think, and it goes in line of what my big pitch for the A New Hope thing is, you got to factor in everything. And the meanings behind the Phantom Menace crawl when you first sat there at that opening night theater with everyone around, I mean, or the A New Hope for what must have been for the people in the 70s, or in the special edition for me, seeing it for the first time on the big screen. And The Force Awakens on the big screen, after so many years of thinking in 2008 was the last we're going to see of any Star Wars content on a big screen. And now it's 2015, and here we are, and we're about to see old school Luke Skywalker team up with old Han and Leia on a great adventure. Wait, no, that didn't happen. But yeah, still, you had The Force Awakens. So yeah, I agree.
All right. So now we're going to move on to The Last Jedi. This was fairly low on both lists.
I tried.
Our crawl was number 8. Our crawl was number 8. And the opening scene we put it at number 6. So Brandon, I know you have a lot of love for this movie. First of all, what did you think about our crawl? Putting the crawl at number 8 out of 9.
I mean, is the crawl really that bad? I feel like it's decent. It's pretty good. Let me confirm.
I remember why we lower. I'm trying to remember why we had it lower, but I'll tell you why. So the two reasons we had gimmick reasons for why Phantom Menace was last place, because it was taxation, and we're like, what is all this stuff? And The Last Jedi, the reason we had make this so low is because there's no need. We were penalizing the movie for taking place exactly seconds after the first one, or the Force Awakens, that were like, there's no need for it. So that's why I remember we were ranking it low, kind of as a gimmick. So I think that our ranking of having it so low it shouldn't be as strong an opinion. The opening scene.
I think I like it. I think it should be a little higher. I like First Order reigns. I like them trying to seize military control of the galaxy, the Resistance fighters awaiting the return of Luke. The attack on
Luke or Luke?
Luke.
The attack on the Rebel base. I think it really sets up the tension that you feel like right away. And I really love the opening.
It's a fun opening.
Personally,
It is. It's one. Yeah, it's one of the better ones.
I mean, collectively, I say I'd put it above Empire as well. It's close to The Force Awakens, I think.
Ooh. Okay.
So, do with that what you will.
I mean, I'll let Frank go.
So, again, I think it comes back to the crawl. It's just like, I don't know, like, we have it low for a reason. But like I said, I think last week I said, it's a great sequence. The bombing and all that stuff is really fun, and Poe and his whole, space drift and and stuff like that with BB-8, I think is great. And yeah, you can say what you will about, he's tooling with you, sir. Like, you can say what you want to say. It's still a lot of fun, a lot of great tension with what's her face's name? Not Rose, but
Paige.
With Paige Tico and knocking, the controller thing down, and so like really well shot and executed opening. So it boosted a lot, but could I put it above Empire? I don't think I can do it. I don't think I do it. So now am I gonna keep it above Return of the Jedi? Well, then here's the thing. Like, am I going on the 37-minute? There's no way I can put it. There's no way I can put it above. I know. But that was last week. Now we're this week. It's completely different rules, right? So, could I put it above Return of the Jedi? Yeah, I could.
Because we shouldn't count the Jabba stuff in Return of the Jedi. We're talking about the opening.
Yeah.
Let's try to get the best opening list ever.
Right.
And it should be just about the scene with Vader and him on the Death Star.
Yeah. Where were you at, Kevin?
One of my favorite action figures was the Han Solo in snow costume.
Oh, sure. And
right?
Chewie.
With
and
the
Chewie.
Hoodie.
Yeah,
and Chewie. And, well, Chewie's not in this opening. Remember, if we're looking just the opening, right? It's just
right. Well, in terms of figures, yeah.
And you have the iconic with the tauntauns and the snow.
Iconic.
And yeah, that's very iconic. And that's tough because, like, man, the opening, and I think, but the Last Jedi owes itself to having the modern filmmaking in mind.
Sure.
You're able to do those effects and stuff, but the tooling stuff, I think, knocks it down for me. And the Mother, like, I agree with Christian Harloff's take that humor in Star Wars can be good, but if it starts to try to sound too much like Marvel, it kind of takes you out of it. And, like, I remember even in the theater, like, oh, that's kind of odd.
Yeah.
But it's still, like, the Tokyo Drift part's cool. And, like, even, like, the pan down and it zooms and you see all the ships escaping. And the concept of an escape is very Empire Strikes Back. It's homage to that, really.
Yeah.
The first transport is away. Hey! So, I think that some of this needs to be taken with the iconic in mind. I think in 50 years from now, people aren't talking about the opening of The Last Jedi. And it's not because people hated Rian Johnson's Last Jedi. It's not because they hated what they did with Luke. It's because the opening to Hoth is so iconic. The Tauntaun, the Han Solo, that was ingrained. It was part of the beginning of it. And so I really think that why it is above Return of the Jedi, it should go below Empire Strikes Back.
And Brandon,
in a purely speculative, what would people be talking about 50 years from now, Brandon? Would they be talking about the opening of The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, or would they be talking about what the Empire Strikes Back?
I'll say this. I think perhaps are people talking better of The Last Jedi as a whole as a movie in 50 years, not just the sequence, So a lot of that, I think, can feed into that argument. But yeah, Brandon, did you say you would put it above Empire?
I would. I think, like the first transport is away. That's not part of the opening scene that we
No,
set,
yeah.
right?
Actually, it's not.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Oh.
the iconic parts about Hoth
Mhm.
and seeing the snow planet, seeing the
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't. I gotta only stick to what's in the opening scene. So.
Or we could extend the Last
we
Jedi.
could extend-
Or to Empire. We can extend Empire to the entire corridor
this
conversation
is-
because that's part of the movie.
This is a really
tough.
tough one.
I feel like Frank has to be the
I know,
you
and I
have to be
don't
the
know
tiebreaker.
what to do.
Because I'm saving my tiebreaker hopefully for one. So
I almost already. I almost have to like futilely concede already. I feel like on that point. Anyways,
Okay, you know what? Let me do some reality show ass kissing. So Brandon, tell you what. Listen, you and me, final two, big brother. I'll vote for it to be above Empire, but just when we get to the rankings of Revenge of the Sith: A New Hope, you're gonna vote my way, okay? Okay, cool.
oh my god.
Hey Frank, yeah, man. So I'm gonna vote. I'm gonna go ahead and vote it Empire. Above the Force, or sorry, above it. But yeah, up to you. I mean, it's up to Brandon. No, you know what? No, I want to go below.
You know what?
The Last Jedi.
Here's what it is. I can't put Last Jedi above Empire. I just can't. I can't do it.
It's your favorite movie of all time.
There's that, but also I love that crawl way more than The Last Jedi, and
Didn't The Last Jedi break all the rules of crawls too? It didn't do what it was supposed to do with it had capitalized letters and all that stuff. So
Wait,
yeah,
what?
screw The Last Jedi.
What do you mean it broke the rules?
Yeah, did you not watch our show? I thought you watched our show,
I
Brandon.
kind of zoned
watched
out
it.
when I was watching it. I'll be honest.
Well, most people do, don't worry about it. But all the crawls did it was the weirdest thing, but not the weirdest thing, but like A New Hope had capitalized letters in it, right? Like the Death Star. I forget what words were capitalized at this point. Forgive me. Or the Galactic Empire. That was one that was capitalized. So attack. It was every other movie that had capitalized letters. So following that, like
Last Jedi had capital letters.
The Last Jedi, and it wasn't supposed to.
It wasn't supposed to.
I thought every movie has capital letters.
No, every other movie does. Go to the crawls right now, Frank.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
You have that on your document?
Yeah.
Get out of town, dude.
Go to the crawls, and you'll see right now.
Yeah, that's true. I guess Empire does not have any. Wow.
Empire doesn't have any. Return of the Jedi does.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I believe The Force Awakens does or does not?
The Force Awakens does.
Does. And so then the
Last
Force
Jedi
the Last
does.
Jedi should not. Because it's an odd number. I think it's the odd numbers, or yeah, because even number of movies.
Well,
So,
Attack of the Clones has capital letters.
But does the Phantom Menace?
The Phantom Menace does
I don't.
not.
Yeah, I don't see any.
So none in the Phantom Menace, some in the Attack of the Clones. Then yes in the wait, now I don't even know if there was a thing.
This is
But then
so
none
confusing.
in Revenge of the Sith.
None in Revenge of the Sith?
Correct.
Really?
So
Okay,
he did
I
the
am right.
inverse of the original trilogy.
But it shouldn't be. It should be. It was none in the Phantom Menace, right? You're saying none in the Phantom Menace,
Correct.
but then in Attack of the Clones,
Right. he
then
had
none
one.
in
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith.
None in Revenge.
Then of course there were some in
A New Hope.
A New Hope,
Mhm.
but none in
None
Empire Strikes Back. Then capitals in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Then The Force Awakens. How many is in there?
It's
Capitalized?
capital. Yeah, there's like 3.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
I can't take this.
Yeah, I'm over it. I think a lot of
Force
people,
Awakens has 3. Last Jedi has 1, 2, and then Rise
Jedi shouldn't have had
has
any.
like 4 or 5. Yeah.
Last Jedi shouldn't have had any. It should have been nestled in there with no capital things. But Frank, if we're gonna acquiesce to you, you're gonna put Empire above it.
Yeah. I'm gonna put the Last Jedi below Empire.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hannah, any last parting angry words?
Where are those droidicas?
All right. The Rise of Skywalker. Brandon Hannah's favorite.
Sorry.
On our list, the ranking list, we had it at Crawl. We had it at number 6. It had some really good words in there. Really great words. But then for the opening scene, we had it at number 8. So that would put it at number 7 if you do the averages. But does that mean it's below or above Return of the Jedi and Attack of the Clones? It might actually just be. Actually, yeah. I think it's a lot more exciting than the other ones, than those 3. Would I put it above The Last Jedi? I think I actually would.
It's because you're dumb.
You're wrong on that.
You think so? I think I would, because I think, well, first of all, I prefer the crawl of Rise over The Last Jedi, and I think what's happening with the Rise of Skywalker, now that I think about it more.
You're a big Minecraft player, though, so that's why. Or sorry,
Fortnite.
Yeah.
You gotta get your jokes straight, buddy. Come on. You're gonna come for me. Come for the throat. Come on, let's go. I think there's some really cool, like, look, the Palpatine stuff. Say what you will about whatever, how it all worked, how we got to that point. But I mean, that's pretty. Is it like that? To me, is more interesting than Return of the Jedi opening minus sans Jabba, right? If we're including Jabba, then I'm gonna keep Rise below. But if we're not putting Jabba, then I'm gonna put Rise above Return of the Jedi, and which means I'm gonna put it above The Last Jedi, because I like the what do you call it? The sci-fi of it all, of Rise of Skywalker. I like that aspect of it. So I'm gonna stop right there. But Kevin.
I had it on my bottom 3. I think when I sent you my bottom 3, I didn't have it in any order. But like the bottom 3 for me are Attack of the Clones, The Rise of Skywalker, and Return of the Jedi. Attack of the Clones, I kind of want to give a little love to, though, that it did do a pan up. It's the only one who does that, and it's a really cool way where it was doing the pan up, and then you started seeing ships flying overhead, and then you realize you're above Coruscant, and then it set the mood of that like murder mystery style that they were going for, as far as that moody opening with the fog and stuff like that. But yeah, and then Return of the Jedi obviously has a great crawl. The opening, any scene with Vader is great. So it really goes to say the Rise of Skywalker. The reason that I make it suffer is because I didn't feel like it made Mustafar look like Mustafar. We're supposed to know that's Mustafar.
Yeah, if you do the Vader Immortal VR experience game, then you'll know that the Mustafar is actually growing vegetation, and it's slowly not becoming a volcanic planet anymore.
Let me tell you, that game is so cool. I think I have it queued up in a scene for Frank, for you guys the next time you come here. But when he comes into the room to talk to you, it's like Vader's right there in the room with you, and he is tall, and you can go right up to him.
That's cool.
Yeah,
well, really cool. Remember we did that.
And the good thing is Frank won't hurt himself in the kitchen playing it because he's not going to have to jump.
Remember we did that Star Wars VR thing?
That was terrifying too.
Vader attacks you, and I was scared. I was scared of Vader.
Damn,
that was scary. I get why he's scary.
I think that the Rise of Skywalker, it does a lot in that opening. It is action packed, and I do love my version that my homeboy Brandon Twig made, where he then intercut a Darth Vader hallucination fighting Kylo Ren. That was cool that he did. But as far as that opening goes, I think that the Rise of Skywalker would go below Return of the Jedi, but above Attack of the Clones. That's where I would stick it in between. You just got the Return of the Jedi has Vader in it, and it was it's just, again, it's the nostalgia factor.
Rise has Kylo Ren and Palpatine and Snoke. I mean, come on.
And Vader's voice, if you think about it.
And Vader's voice. I mean, woo.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but also the Rise of Skywalker to me undid the sacrifice that Anakin
then you are lost.
I'm sorry, but the chosen one, he throws him down the shaft.
Okay, we can get to the topic of the chosen one because, Anakin, throws the Emperor over and evil's erased forever? No, come on.
Yeah, but he should be erased forever. Evil can come back in other forms, but the guy should be dead.
Yeah, but the dark side is a pathway to many abilities some consider unnatural.
Undermined and made Anakin look like a bitch anyway. Like, you still couldn't kill me, and now you're dead. looking like a good-looking Force ghost the rest of your days. No. The Rise of Skywalker to me goes under Return of the Jedi, but I'll put it above Attack of the Clones. But again, I acquiesce to my good-looking Scoundrels above. Or no, I guess we'll be. You know, I like this version, by the way. I don't have to clean the room so much.
Same.
Yeah, that's what I like it too.
But you can see what's on each side of Frank. It's just a pile of trash. Like, he looks like he's in a trap.
Yeah.
But it's hidden because he's here.
Yeah, Brandon. I know. Try not to let your immense disdain for this movie cloud your judgment.
I mean, I'll defend he does bring balance to the Force when he throws Palpatine down the shaft, and then he says it in this movie later on. He goes, "Bring balance to the Force, Rey, as I did." So
yes.
He didn't bring it. He failed.
I don't know. Pretty
tell that to him.
Pretty balanced to me, bro.
Kathleen Kennedy unbalanced it.
All right, that's it. That's
don't
enough.
worry, incels. I'm just joking.
Darkness rises and light to meet it. That's a balance.
That's pretty great.
You can't see that.
That's pretty good.
This is a balance.
It's good. I get it. My whole point is it could be a different dark. It could have been Snoke or a different darkness. The one that Anakin. The whole point of the love through Vader, redeeming Vader, and Vader then vanquished the one person that slaved him for all of these years. And especially when you're done with my Super Watch, you realize how manipulated he was from the very beginning as a boy. And he finally broke his chains. His chains are free. And he killed the person that destroyed his very life, destroyed his family, destroyed any semblance of the life Anakin could have. Anakin should have been the one to end that. But instead, all he did was send that guy's space ghost into another galaxy. That's what's the disappointing part of it.
I would argue that it wasn't about killing Palpatine. It was about saving Luke. That's how we win. Not by fighting what we hate, but by saving what we love.
All right, Rose.
What do we have in last place right now?
Attack of the Clones is last. Yeah. Right above it is Return of the Jedi. Above that is The Last Jedi.
I think I'll put this above Attack of the Clones, but that's it. Not a fan.
I kind of want to put this above Return of the Jedi. I really do. Here's what I'll say. If we can put it above Return of the Jedi, then
Big Brother dealings.
Yeah. How many meat sticks?
Then and then we can leave. A New Hope will be number one. If not,
I don't want. If not, Big Brother deals.
Yeah,
I want to earn New Hope. I want to earn a New Hope being number one.
Oh my god!
You're about to earn it right now by acquiescing.
Acquiesces to disorder.
Okay.
Because otherwise, this just becomes Kevin's list, and no one wants that. It's another list from Kevin.
It's not my list. My list, just because I give you guys accurate information to make your most solid picks. I would acquiesce. I wouldn't hate going above Return of the Jedi. I was just giving you my early, but I want to give a win to Hannah. Because I feel like a couple times we've usurped Hannah from his choice. I think Hannah wanted Last Jedi above Empire, and we acquiesced for you, Frank.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like we should acquiesce for Hannah on this one, and then we all acquiesce for me on the New Hope.
Wow.
So that's what I think we should do.
Well, first of all, one acquiesce at a time. I don't know if that's a word.
If we were able, we should start naming episodes so we could always. It would be acquiesce show.
The acquiescence show. All right, fine. We'll put Rise of Skywalker just only above Attack of the Clones then. Deal?
Or no
Solid
deal?
List right here.
All right, so now we're gonna circle back to the top two: A New Hope and Revenge of the Sith. Here's why Revenge of the Sith deserves to be at the number one spot, because it's the culmination of George's work. It's the culmination of it all. It's everything from A New Hope all the way through the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, and it's culminating at Revenge of the Sith. Everything he's learned, everything he's written about, this is the movie that he wanted to make, to tell, to complete Anakin's story, fall from the dark side. So you start by throwing you into, what we would now find out, the end of the Clone Wars, and Anakin and Obi-Wan side by side. He was a good friend, the best starfighter pilot in the galaxy. Everything that you heard in A New Hope, you're watching it on the screen in grand fashion. The crawl is, we have it at number 2 for crying out loud because it's so good. The opening is phenomenal. Heroes on both sides, Kevin. That's like your favorite line. You love it to death. The opening has everything, including the kitchen sink, which is something that is said a lot because there actually is a little kitchen sink that flies through one of the opening shots in Revenge of the Sith into one of the Venonators, I think, or something like that. Anyways, cool little nugget. I think it's been said on the commentary for Revenge of the Sith. Anyways, a lot is happening there, and it's action-packed. It's the Jedi. It's Anakin and Obi-Wan at the height of their partnership. And their powers more or less as well. It has all of Star Wars in there. Everything George has been working for it, and all of it's in this opening sequence. The crawl, the opening sequence battle, it has it all. It's the best opening. It has the best sound effects. All the sounds that Star Wars is known for is like thrown in this sequence. Compared to A New Hope, yes, it is iconic. But that had to come in order for Revenge of the Sith to happen, and that's what George wanted to do.
You just rested our case. That had to come before Revenge of the Sith were to happen.
Yeah, but just because it come before doesn't mean it had to sit at the top the whole time for the rest of time.
Brandon?
Feel like my parents are getting divorced and they're like, pick me, come live with me.
Well, I haven't even made my argument yet. I have a very well thought out placed argument. I'm just waiting for my turn.
Frank made some good points. I can see it going either way. Do I go with the original or do I go with the culmination of everything that came before it? I don't know.
Are we ready for my turn?
I'll also just say, again, there's great action, there's great comedy.
No, you don't get to talk twice. You don't get to talk twice.
Fine.
This will suck for the audio readers, but we'll explain what's happening after. Here's why A New Hope is number 1 in pictures.
Okay. He's bringing audio. He's bringing visual.
No audio. Just the picture. That picture. Of course, we have that.
Sure.
That picture. So it's the first time we ever had the crawl. We have that.
Okay.
The first time he walked through the door, what do you think people were freaking thinking? They were losing their minds in 1977. It spurred the love that everybody has to this day. And then, of course, you have the famous, iconic visual of this. This is the greatest opening of the Star Wars saga because it set everything off. It was the first time everybody ever saw the Star Wars with the logo. It was the first time anybody saw any sort of crawl going overhead, and I just destroyed my focus again, and I don't care. Get in focus there. And it's the first time that anybody saw Darth Vader, laid eyes on Darth Vader for the first time. It's the first time anybody laid eyes on Stormtroopers for the first time. First time anybody laid eyes on Carrie Fisher for the first time. It was the first time anybody laid eyes on a space battle overhead between Stormtroopers and Rebel. And then you have C-3PO and R2-D2, which I didn't even have time to find stills of. It is the greatest opening because it launched it. And Frank, we cannot put your name on a list of the top opening crawls and openings combo without having A New Hope at number 1 because it's the one that started it all. You even said, and you slipped, you were caught slipping, buddy.
I did not
in
slip.
Your thing. You said without. Yes, you did. You said without of which A New Hope could not have had created the Revenge of the Sith. It is a culmination. Congratulations, George Lucas. But the one that started it all in 1977, which got people watching it and it putting lines around the block, and then they saw it 6, 7, 8 times, and it created Star Wars fever. If we were around back then, which we weren't, you would have understood how powerful and how crazy it took over cinema. It created the modern blockbuster. Yes, Jaws did too, but this was the beginning of where people already started going out to see the big blockbusters in theaters. And it's because the first time that ship goes over your head on the big screen, people were losing their collective minds. They were weeping on the screen. Yes, Revenge of the Sith was great. And they had some good, the kitchen sink and all the scenes. It's one of my favorites too, but it's not first place. It's A New Hope and everything's under it. It doesn't matter. This list would have no credibility if we do not have A New Hope as number 1.
So basically, Kevin thinks Star Wars went downhill after A New Hope. That's what you're telling me. You're like, it's all downhill from there? I disagree.
Friend,
I think it was all uphill from there.
I mean, if we could do another rankings where it's the top 9 pan downs are the most iconic like shots, right? That shot with it going overhead, the ship going overhead, has been used and homaged in movies between with aliens and Spaceballs and everything else. It is the iconic. You can't have the
I get it. It was never replicated.
It could have been the first time ever it was done, and it could have been done poorly or not that good, right? What if it was look? Star Wars probably could have still been a successful franchise if the opening of A New Hope was something more in the vein of Empire Strikes Back, but it's not. It was done with A New Hope. It was done with the most classic fucking scenes ever, including the Princess Leia, Darth Vader going through with the smoke. It should be over then. The conversation should be over then when the door gets blasted and you see these looks of the rebels like what the heck is that?
All I'm saying is it's number 2. It's not like I'm putting it like at number 6.
It's not number 2. The first ever vision that you've ever got laid eyes on Darth Vader is number 1. And it's without question.
Okay, so we were all along. We were making a list 1 through 9, while Kevin was making a list 2 through 8. I see. 2 through 9, rather.
Brandon Hanna, you're gonna break this. You're gonna break the time, my friend. And remember those good times I had last night.
Oh my god! Remember that fruit basket that's on your way?
Remember we were high fiving on the dance floor and cheers in.
Oh man.
Just kidding.
I was thinking when Kevin showed the picture of Leia, I was just thinking of Luke in The Last Jedi. Like, that's a cheap move.
It's a cheap move.
Yes.
But guess what? It's Revenge of the Sith.
So they even go meta in The Last Jedi and talk about how that's a cheap move with the nostalgia.
I think.
So you would agree you're pulling a cheap move, Kevin? Is what you're doing?
I will do anything to ensure that this list in 50,000 years will be seen by people that will be like, well, those scoundrels sure knew how to.
I think the crawl and like the whole combination of everything. I might have to go A New Hope by a hair, Frank.
I'll just say, in Revenge of the Sith crawl, they actually use the word Sith. They don't in New Hope. I just say it.
So you're a Sith loyalist, is what you're saying, Frank.
I'll just say that, they talk about the Chancellor being kidnapped in the opening. Like, oh, the rebels, they scored their first victory. Hooray. Like,
yeah, and in 1977, you were like, rebels? What's that? Galactic Empire? What's that? You were reading it for the first time.
They had Vietnam back then. They knew what it was all about.
Maybe 15 people read Starlog magazine, but the rest were blown away.
All right, fine. It's A New Hope. Fine, but...
Whew!
But
I could stay on. Look, I had prepared a resignation letter that I was going to read on screen if A New Hope wasn't number 1.
I just want to say this is under great protest. Great protest. But
I want to hear what the fans have to say about this.
Yeah. Like A New Hope or Revenge of the Sith. I don't even care about the rest of the list. It's about A New Hope and Revenge of the Sith. Yes, please, give us the rest of your list. But A New Hope, Revenge of the Sith, which movie has the best beginning, crawl, opening sequence, all of it together? I say it's Revenge of the Sith. Brandon and Kevin say it's A New Hope. It is what it is. The official list will go as number 1.
Frank doesn't like children or kittens either, so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Wow.
A New Hope, Revenge of the Sith, The Phantom Menace, The Force Awakens, Empire Strikes Back, The Last Jedi, Return of the Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, and Attack of the Clones. That is the definitive list of which movie.
It's canon. That's a canon list.
That's canon list. Which movie has the best beginning of any Star Wars film and has been dubbed A New Hope because, as Kevin likes to put it, it was all downhill from there. Any final words before we get out of here and wrap this one up? Kevin?
I just want to say that I don't feel like I will feel as strongly about anything else in further rankings than this. This was one that I was sweating all week about, so I'm glad I was tied at the end of a string as that Brandon had my life in his hands. I think it's a list we could be proud of. Look, if Revenge of the Sith is second, it is very close up there. I get it, and a lot of people, I think it could go either way. But for me, I had to encompass all of it and the meaning and the iconicness. And if you notice, I keep very in high regard. If you see our top 4, they are A New Hope, and that's because it's the first time ever seen. And Revenge of the Sith, which you did a great job about explaining, Frank. At the time, it was going to be the last one maybe ever on the screen for the big time. It was the culmination. And you had The Phantom Menace, which was in 99 when it was returning from we never saw it. And then again, Force Awakens, kind of the same story of Disney now, the new era. So these are why these openings are where they are. I think that it'll be fun to tackle other. We were talking, me and Frank. We have so many concepts and so many gauntlets, Star Wars gauntlets we're gonna have. So hoping you guys like it, and you're screaming at the screens too, as we are. That's what's the fun part about it. No one's wrong. You guys have your list. It's probably nothing like ours, and that's what's great. And again, like I said, I'm sure that my top 10 list or 9 lists would be different than Frank's, the different Brandon's. No one's wrong. We're all here for Star Wars fans, and that's what the best part about it is.
Brandon, any final parting words for the audience, for myself, to console me?
I will buy you 1 meat stick, Frank.
All right. Well, it's on the record. Brandon's going to buy me 1 meat stick, all because A New Hope is now number 1 on this list. Again, whatever your lists you have out there, let us know in the comments. And I also just put Revenge of the Sith at the top, just so I can have something to throw back at these guys. Okay.
But also write that you hate kittens and children.
Well,
and then
we can leave that out. Next week we'll do another type of ranking. What kind?
Gauntlet.
Gauntlet's gonna be a gauntlet. We're gonna do another gauntlet. You'll figure out the topic next week when you see the title, because I don't even think we know right now. But we have ideas. We have ideas.
Top 10 reasons why top 9 reasons why A New Hope is above Revenge of the Sith, and we'll just list the reasons.
All right. That's enough. By the way, again, we said it in the middle of the show, but here at the end of the show, we are going to have a panel at LA Comic-Con December 3rd. What time, Brandon?
1:30 p.m.
1:30 p.m. Sunday. That's December 3rd. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun. It's going to be all of this, what you're hearing, and more. It's in some room.
We should do a gauntlet on that show, huh? A live gauntlet.
We could do one of those. We could do whatever we want. Apparently, I think in that panel. Well, almost.
I think Frank's dancing in a Slave Leia costume.
No. I'm dressing up as.
You were doing a belly dance. I thought you were talking about.
I'm singing as Slice Noodles. Yeah. Dressing up.
You're gonna ask Brandon if he could do it.
Gotta lose some weight.
All right. That's been the episode. That's all we have for this week. Go back and watch our other episodes where we did some list rankings, and let us know what you think. But until next time, I'm Frank. That's Kevin. That's Brandon. This has been Scoundrels Inc., another Star Wars podcast, and we will see you all next week and in LA Comic-Con.
Get your tickets now. Do it now.
Now.
Scoundrel. I like the sound of that.